What's up, y'all? It's Drewski, and I've teamed up with Mountain Dew to produce a hilarious new basketball podcast called The Dew Zone with Drewski. Learn the backstories of your favorite ballers and celebrities like Jamal Murray.
Did you have like a favorite team? Was it the Raptors at the time or no? Was the Raptors even started around that time?
Come on, bro.
I ain't that old, fam. You talking like I'm 50.
Taylor Rooks, Asia Wilson, and many more. You won't want to miss this. Listen to The Dew Zone with Drewski on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Today on The Timeline, a Phoenix Suns podcast, we're going to introduce ourselves, introduce the podcast, talk about our plans for the future, and maybe talk a little bit about TJ Warren's tweets. Let's go. Okay, it's finally happening. My name is Mike V. Hill, and I'm the host of the Timeline, a Phoenix Suns podcast. And I know what you're all thinking, the timeline. It's so derivative of the process, and maybe it is, but that's okay. We'll talk more about that later. I've been a Suns fan for 15 years. Steve Nash, when he first got here, is the same year that I moved to Phoenix in 2005-ish, 2004-ish, and I became a huge Suns fan at that point. Based on the allure of Steve Nash.
Yeah, and hi, guys. I'm the other half of the Timeline podcast. My name's Sam Cooper, East Coast based. Some of you may know me from Reddit, many don't. But I have been a Suns fan since I was a little kid. And, as a college-aged kid right now, that means that I am just young enough to have, or just old enough to have seen some success from this team back in the 2000s, but also just young enough where we have not seen some success from this Suns team in quite a while, but we're really excited to get things back on track now. I am not necessarily a huge proponent of the timeline specifically, but I'm just really excited to talk about Suns basketball, where this team is going forward. And, Mike and I both definitely have a lot of optimism for the future.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny time to start a Suns podcast after the worst season in Suns history, a season where we had the worst record ever. But having the number one pick, that's a pretty good time to talk about the Suns because it's the first time ever. There's some optimism, maybe for the first time since Steve Nash, let's just say he retired. I don't like to acknowledge his Lakers years. We'll pretend like that didn't happen at all. It's an interesting time to start one, but we're hoping that we can be sort of the place where fans go to listen to the fan perspective. We're not reporters. We're just fans. We met on Reddit. We're both actually moderators of the Phoenix Suns Reddit. Please join us in the Phoenix Suns Reddit. It's a really fun place to talk about Suns basketball. Of course, there's also Twitter, and we'll not mention Instagram or Facebook comments because that is not the most fun place to talk about basketball. But we're hoping to cover everything from the fan perspective. This is just going to be a short little intro episode. We wanted to introduce ourselves, talk about the ideas for the podcast. I know, Sam, you probably have some ideas for the podcast as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Mike, we're not reporters. We're not professionals, so this is just going to be a casual, easygoing podcast. But we really want to make this consistent for you guys because we know that makes a better experience for the listener. And during the off season, we're thinking, an episode a week. Talking about, obviously, trade ideas, free agent ideas. There's all sorts of craziness going on in the offseason every year, and especially this year, I think, because the Suns kind of are in position to maybe make some major moves over the summer for the first time in a little while, whereas the last couple summers we've sort of stood pat. And then during the season itself, maybe 2 to 3 episodes a week, we're going to really get down into each matchup, and we're hoping that the Suns are going to be a slightly more competitive team this year so that we can talk about individual matchups as they come and go, and what the Suns are going to need to do to take on specific teams, as well as, of course, like handling week to week news and rumors as it comes by during the season.
Right. It'll be interesting to talk about whether or not Devin Booker is going to have to switch on every single screen, and if he has to guard James Harden or Steph Curry on pick and rolls. That'll be what we eventually talk about. Now, the idea, there's 2 things that I want to promise to anyone that's listening. One, we will be consistent, 1 episode a week, maybe more in the off season, depending on how things go. And then when the season starts, at least 2 episodes. It will probably be mostly Sam and I talking about the games, but hopefully we can have some guests on eventually. You get some insight about the team from different perspectives, maybe some reporters, maybe some people who work for the team, or maybe some just longtime fans who have important or interesting perspectives on the team. So consistent is one, and the other is we're hoping to have as good of audio quality as possible. That's always difficult, and we're learning. We're new. We're going to do our best to see what we can do to be highest quality and consistent. And hopefully that will be a good experience for anyone that's listening to us.
Yeah, and the only other thing I would add to that also is that the beauty of podcasting in the internet age, we want this to be a conversation with you guys. So, if you stick around with us, you recognize that we are taking this as we go, and we're learning as well. We want your ideas, your thoughts, criticisms as well as praises if you have any. But certainly both of us are working to be a little more active on Twitter. We're very active on Reddit as well, so you can hit us up there. But just any of your ideas as well, we will definitely take into consideration. Just understand that this is a learning experience for all of us.
Absolutely. Now, this is just going to be a short one. We wanted to set up our feed so people have the ability to subscribe. But before we go, I want to talk a little bit about TJ Warren and his Twitter account. Now, Sam, we talked a little before we started recording. I know you don't have a Twitter account yet, but you're going to start one. It's important because TJ Warren tweets a lot of weird things. Now, what I noticed about TJ Warren's Twitter account is before the end of the season, his last tweet was October 26th, 2017. So what you notice is TJ Warren takes the entire season off of tweeting, which I think is great. He goes, 0 dark 23, whatever LeBron James's thing is, for an entire season. So he takes it that much more seriously than LeBron. But as soon as the season ended, he began tweeting again. And a lot of his tweets, I don't know if they're song lyrics.
They're definitely song lyrics. I mean, TJ's, I don't know, how big of a hip hop fan you are, but, the dropping of like J. Cole's album a couple months ago, we instantly saw TJ start to get a lot more active on Twitter. And since then,
Absolutely.
I don't know what he's tweeting here, but yeah, a lot of these are just song lyrics. He's one of the more interesting personalities for the Suns on social media, because he's such of everyone, like most guys, you really know what you've got. Like you follow Devin Booker on social media, and for the most part, like you can see his personality. You follow Alan Williams, you can obviously see what he is for the most part. But then TJ is just an enigma, and you really not sure what we're getting there.
Yeah, he's just a totally different personality, difficult to read, doesn't smile very often, super amazing at floaters, very fun. But there's a couple tweets that I want to talk about, see if we can figure out what they mean. The first one is TJ Warren on May 2nd. He said, people overlook so much stuff all for the sake of entertainment, in quotes. Like, what is really going on? And then a lock emoji, which is just an emoji of a lock, like a padlock. I'm not sure what the lock emoji means. That's actually the most interesting part of the tweet to me. So he's saying people overlook so much stuff for the sake of entertainment. Do you think this is about the NBA season?
No, I really don't know that this guy's tweets are like that thoughtful to be, analyzing what's really going on with the NBA season. This sounds straight from Kyrie Irving, by the way, and I didn't take TJ for that type of person, but it really does sound straight from like what Kyrie would tweet or talk about with like his flat earth conspiracies. Now, there is some truth to it. People overlook so much of the sake of entertainment. Like, I guess that's true, but it's such a vague statement. Like, what are you saying here, TJ? Come give us.
Maybe he was just watching the new season of Jersey Shore. I'm gonna have to look up when that season started to see if that's what he was tweeting about. Now, the next one I want to talk about is the very next tweet, actually. And he says, let me find it here, feeling like Drago on the treadmill. And that's all it is.
See, and then
Rocky IV.
It's funny with him too, because then you like look at the replies. You're like, can we get some context here? And the replies just give no context whatsoever. So,
well, there's a lot of Drago gifs, which I love. So, I like that, and that's all good. And there is a great scene of Drago on the treadmill in Rocky IV, completely drenched in sweat. It's a montage. I mean, most of the Rocky movies are just montages, back to back to back. And there's a montage of Drago on the treadmill running really hard. And if that means that TJ Warren is immediately working on his game and working on his body right after the season ends, then good on him. I haven't worked
I'm
out in
scrolling
weeks.
down a little bit. Sometimes TJ is actually really insightful. Like maybe we're not giving him enough credit. I wish heaven had visiting hours April 25th. That's pretty clear right there. You know, that's actually a really sad, sentimental tweet from a guy that we don't usually see expressing emotion like that. So, you know, credit to TJ on that one. But it's pretty much just like that is the exception to it's because like the one right below that is Cole and Nipsey albums providing unforgettable knowledge. First of all, that J. Cole album, J. Cole is not in his prime right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. And if you follow us along, I guess, you know, we'll give little more tidbits of music stuff going on every once in a while. But there's
Absolutely.
definitely some better artists that are dropping unforgettable knowledge right now than J. Cole. That's all I'm going to say about that, TJ. I am curious what the guys are listening to in the locker room for the most part. Like, is Dragan Bender
I'm guessing it's
a
rap.
hip hop fan? Like, what does he listen to? I know, like, Kristaps Porzingis coming from Latvia is like a big NWA guy. You know,
But
big
yeah, I mean, you've seen his cornrows.
3-6 Latvia too is what they. But I don't know if that's just a name or if he like actually listens to that. But I'm curious about guys like Alex Len might be like a little more Americanized, but like the real European guys like Dragan Bender, no clue what his fit looks like in the locker room when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Well, that should be a new goal now. We need to find Dragan Bender's Spotify playlists and figure out what his favorite music is. So that'll be something that maybe we can get somebody that has access to the locker room to tell us. I imagine if anyone picks the music, it's not Bender. He's probably the last person that the team allows to pick the music in the locker rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel, he must be the last person. Like John Lure a couple years ago, someone like that. They're not letting him. John Lure, I don't even know what he listens to, but I bet you he's a country fan. Bet you right now. And this is why, you know, for those listening, this is why you got to stick with us. You know, other reporters, they're going to bring you the news. We're going to give you the real investigative reporting you're looking for. And by, you know, the time we record next episode, I guarantee you we'll have some sort of answer on Dragan Bender's Spotify. Now, it might be made up. You know, I might just make up everything I say a few seconds before I say it. So you just got to stick with me on that and wonder in the back of your head if I'm telling the truth or not. But we're definitely going to have some sort of answers for you. So that's an exciting reason.
I'll make it up right now. He's got Gangnam Style 10 times on a playlist, and that's it.
Oh, yikes.
And he sings Dragan Style. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, TJ Warren's tweet that really shows you the type of person TJ Warren is. And it's the one that he said, "Mom's smiling every day is my only concern." And that shows you how great of a man TJ Warren is. He loves his mom, and hopefully he'll be on the Suns forever. I know that people like to talk about him as a trade target, but...
You know who else loved their mom?
Who?
The Morris twins.
Oh, no.
Case closed. Trade him right now. TJ, either get to the bench or get off the team.
You're probably right. And you know what? On that, we should probably end it. Now, this is just a short one. Like I said, we want to set up the feed. Thank you guys for listening. If you got through this entire thing, you're awesome. Make sure and subscribe. We'll have more new stuff coming in every week.
We're talking actual basketball next time.
We'll see.
Nobody builds 5G like Verizon builds 5G, because we're the engineers who built the most reliable network in America. And the more you do with 5G, the more building it right matters. The more your network matters. The more Verizon engineers going the extra mile matters. It's us pushing us. It's Verizon versus Verizon. 5G built right from America's most reliable network. Most reliable based on rankings from RootMetrics second half 2020 U.S. report of 3 mobile networks. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.